What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be doing episode 4 of my VAM hunt out of my 1400 Morgan collection. This is a 1884. Unfortunately, all we have is the New Orleans mint this time, but we're going to be looking for a VAM 10 on this 1884, a VAM 10 on this one as well, VAM 25 here, and a VAM 35 on this one. This should go pretty quick. I've checked things this time instead of my last videos where I wasn't 100% sure of everything. So let's sit down and take a look. Okay, let's start things off with the first VAM 10 that I have here. As you can see, quality-wise isn't real good, but basically the only requirement on the obverse is that the date is set further right than normal. So your average distance on the Morgans is typically 2.5 denticles, and you can see this is about 3 denticles away from basically here. So if you're counting 1 denticle, 2 denticles, 3 denticles, typically the date falls, the edge of the 1 here falls right at the center of that denticle. So it is further right than normal. And on the obverse, please forgive me for my voice. I am still sick. I cannot seem to stop coughing. So anyway, the O mint mark is repunched with original showing as a wavy vertical line within the left side of the opening. So if you can see right there, it's a little bit of a wavy line right on the inside of the O. They say this is the so-called OCC, O over CC variety. Early die states show a broad polishing gouge below the right star. So this is not a definitive thing that has to happen on this version. Oh wow, you can't even see it with my scope there. Change the angle a little bit, there we go. So there is a gouge right here on this right star of the reverse, and when you look at it through a loop, you can see it better just because of lighting and whatnot. But here, let me see if I can adjust the lighting on this so you can see it better. Darker seems to help this little mark right here and this polishing gouge, I guess. So I guess they assume it came from polishing too aggressively, perhaps. At any rate, that is my coin, and I will go over the 4 coins on a zoomed out version when I'm all done here, and we'll take a whack at guessing the grade of them as well. So moving on to the second coin. If you disagree with me on any of these, or you spot something that maybe I missed, please point it out. So again, same variety we're searching for on this one. 1884 New Orleans, 3 denticles away from the bottom of the neck. So it's got that. And on the reverse here, so this one for me is kind of iffy. It's a better quality coin, slightly better than the other one. However, I'm not 100% sure because the gouge, again with this scope, my garbage scope here, it's kind of hard to see. And if it's not really easy to see, I'm a bit concerned that I would not get that variety. But it does have the star gouge. Again, not as aggressive as the other one. So this would be a later die state, if it's even that one at all. So looking here, you really, through this scope, you really can't see it hardly at all, or at all, I should say. But it is in there to some degree, just not, you really got to look for it. So this one could potentially not be it. I mean, the first coin looked just like this one here. So it was super obvious. This one, not so much. So if they got to look real hard for it, and this being, of course, again, this is not an identifying mark necessarily with the die gouge. You know what? Since this is hard to see, except for certain angles, maybe I can get that line to show better at a different angle. Let me try here. Boy, it really doesn't want to come out there. Okay, so you can kind of see a little bit of a overlap there, but again, it doesn't look like that exactly. So it's kind of an iffy one. Not 100% sure on this one. First one, I am 100% sure that that is a VAM 10. So why don't you guys give me your opinion and tell me what you think. I'm hoping this one would go for it. It's a little bit better quality, but I will probably send them both in just because I am not 100% sure on this one. Let's move on to coin 3. Okay, so this one is also one where I am not 100% sure. So this is a VAM 25, and we're looking for a doubled O centered low and a 188 in the denticles. So for me, I believe the 1 is right there. The 8, you can kind of see the bottom of the top loop, or the top of the top inner loop. Same with right there. So I'm 99% sure. The 1 I'm a little iffy about, but I'm 99% sure that this has the doubled 188. However, on the reverse, my O does not look quite like theirs. It's showing this loop right here, this bottom loop. This one, not so much. You know, you can kind of see something there. And even when I look through the loop, you really gotta angle it just right. Okay, you can kind of see it there better. A little bit of a mark right there. So I'm thinking that is the bottom of the other O in it. Just, it doesn't look quite like their pictures, but a lot of times, you know, that's just how it goes. In the comments here, it says a pup, P-U-P. I don't know what the heck that means, but it says a pup on this coin is the die gouge at the top left side of O in dollar. And this has that. Let me get the lighting right here. That mark right there is the die gouge. So top left side of O, right there. You can see that die gouge, die gouge. Mine's a little bit faded, probably a later die state. So on this one, I'd probably say 90% that this is a VAM 25. The other downside of this one is it is a cleaned coin. You can very obviously see all the scratches all over this thing, and those aren't, some are die polishing marks, but most of them are scratches, especially on the obverse. The obverse is really bad, and you, like right there is a good example to see how it's an obviously clean coin. You can see all the scratches, and then here there's no scratches. So if you think, and not to say that they cleaned it with sandpaper, but if you just imagine sandpaper on a small detail like this, even you know, any kind of polishing, something with aggressive polishing, steel wool they used to like to use as, you know, Scotch pads, whatever, they're going to be scratching it, and these raised edges here aren't going to let those scratches get down into the corners really well. So you end up not having lines or scratches around the star and having it all around the rest of the fields. So this is definitely 100%, it's a clean coin. And I'm not going to give it a specific grade, but I would say it'll probably come back AU details. Probably if I send it to Annex, it's going to be like probably low 50s for the details. Okay, last coin here. This is going to be a short video today. So it's a pretty nice quality coin. This is the best of the four for an 1884 New Orleans. And I'm looking for the VAM 35. It's got a far date, a doubled eyelid. And it says reverse. I don't know. I'll take a look at that. But so let's look at the eyelid first. Hopefully you can see it here, because I know I had to hold the loop at a different angle, quite an angle to be able to see it, but definitely is not going to show you. Let me see if there's something I can do to. There we go. You can kind of see it at that angle there. You can see that doubled line right there. So there's your double eyelid. You can see it here. Much nicer picture of an example. And it says the date is set further right than normal. We already talked about that on the other ones. It's got 3 denticles away instead of the usual 2.5. And then on the reverse, TATES in States and AMER in America. And top of the right wreath doubled towards the rim. So you can see, let me change the brightness a little bit. Seems to help show that kind of stuff. You can kind of see it a little bit here. Using the loop, you can see it along the bottom, on the top of the serifs, basically. You can kind of see it there. You can see it, kind of along the edge as well. This one's smashed on the E, so you don't really see it. Let's go to America. This, you can see it much better. Right there, right there, right there. Very obviously seeing it on the AMER. Right there, inside there. It's a bit harder to see it on the Tates. I even have it on the F there and the O, inside of the O. It is harder to see though on these ones. I'll give them that. So, and it says, and top of right wreath, right there. Yeah, that's pretty obvious as well. You can see doubling, doubling, doubling. So on this one, I'm, again, I would say 99% sure that this one is a VAM 35. It's got everything except maybe lighter doubling on the TATES. So I'll bring you back out. We'll take a zoomed out view of them and I'll throw my grades at them and you can tell me what you think. All right, so you probably already saw what I had written on the labels. But this one here, so this one here, I'm not seeing any cleaning marks on it. It's got some scratches and bag marks. Chatter on the front of the face and the cheeks slightly. I am gonna rate this one as a 62. That'd be a VAM 10, MS62. It'd be falling right around $160 if that's an accurate grade. Here's the other VAM 10. I think the face is got about the same amount as chatter, but the feels just look a lot nicer. As far as, I just realized that, you see that crack? That die crack going through the bonnet? This does not have that. That's making me wonder now. It's always nice to catch something right at the end of the video, and please ignore my dirty thumbnail. I didn't notice that until just now either. At any rate, I'll ignore that for now and just continue. I believe this is going to be a 63, slightly higher than the other one because the back looks nicer. Now, I've had people tell me that it doesn't matter what the back looks like, it's all about the face. That's rubbish, because I've had two coins come back, one that looked far worse on the face in the same order and everything, and the reverse was beautiful on one, and I got a better grade on that one with a worse obverse. So it's just, and also we all know kind of everything's just subjective when it comes down to the grader. However, that's what I'm throwing in there. Should be roughly, well, again, because they don't really have listings with the value of these VAMs, but it should be a little bit more than the other one, which was 160-ish. I'll do a little bit more research as I edit, and I'll see if I can put a more accurate value in the bottom right. Okay, here is the 84.0 VAM 25, and you can see zoomed out very clearly how obviously aggressively clean that was. So value-wise, it's gonna, it is what it is. I'm thinking it's gonna be a AU, low AU, details cleaned, and these commonly come, this variety actually commonly comes, and it says on the VAM world that they commonly come with a very weak strike in the center. So you can see, you don't really see the feathers on his chest, the ears kind of mushed up, and then it's cleaned on top of it. So I'm not sure, maybe it'll be even lower than AU, but at any rate, it's cleaned. Yes, I will send it in unless I go through my ones that I have already, which I'm almost positive I do not have one of these, so I will send it in even though it is clean, because I want to get all, I'm trying to get all the top VAMs that I can find. And here's the last one, VAM 35. I think this one is an MS64. It's a pretty nice coin. Got the double eyelid and the, what was this one? It was the double eyelid, far date, and the, oh yeah, the doubling in Tates of Amer. But just look at the reverse is quite nice. I mean, not many marks on it. Nice cartwheel there, and good cartwheel on the front. A little bit of chatter on the front and on the cheek. So I'm hoping for a 64. Honestly, they've been rough with me, and I started using Anax instead of PCGS, so this might get knocked down to a 63. Honestly, what typically happens is almost all my grades are usually one lower on average. Sometimes a lot worse, and once in a while I get something better than expected. But so why don't we just go with that? Everything's going to be one grade lower than what I had just said. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe I even taught you something about searching for VAMs. Maybe not. At any rate, this is meant for entertainment purposes anyway. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on the next one.